We're live.
What a start.
What a start.
What a start. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, thanks to our Mayhem Nation family.
How many of you were here last night and came back? Anybody? All right. We didn't bore you too bad. All right. Appreciate it. I thought for sure they'd be like, I'm not going back to that.
We had fun last night. We had more fun tonight. And here's what we realized. We realized that we can have great conversations and we're fun to be around, but we really didn't get to see much competition today. So we brought our good friend, Brian Friend, who is just like the top dog of analysts, and he's going to help us get caught up on the competition tonight as well. So everybody welcome Brian Friend.
Brian Friend.
I watched some competition.
Yeah, I bet you did. I bet you watched it and rewatched. How many times have you rewatched it?
No, I haven't had a chance.
All right.
We just finished one day and then meetings, get ready for the next.
All right,
Nice.
there we go.
And I want to introduce you the right way. Be Friendly is the new deal. It's a new brand.
Yeah, go ahead and tell everybody.
Yeah, Be Friendly Fitness. We started about 3 weeks before semifinals. Patrick Hart, Chad Mueller, and myself have just been trying to build up some content, some stuff for you guys to follow along with. Hopefully just increase everyone's opportunity to appreciate and understand what this sport and this community is about.
Very high level analytics from this guy. It's pretty fun to listen to. And if you ever have any questions literally about anything CrossFit wise, Brian's your man.
So off the top, just because what we do, like kind of Oprah Winfrey style, we're doing tons of giveaways. Last night was Yeti night. Tonight is all about Pit Boss. Tonight we're giving away tons of cool stuff. We've got jerky kits. We've got smash burger makers, hats, a couple surprises later on. So if you're in the audience, actually, we're going to have people are going to bring it around. You guys are all getting a jerky kit, which is awesome. Somebody's going to walk out of here with a griddle today. Yesterday, we talked about the hype, right?
Yeah.
We did 10 briskets. Today, we did 20 briskets, 120 burgers, over 20 pounds of chicken, and smoked 5 trays of mac and cheese. So Jason Nichols is the man. He's the pit master. He's bringing out a brisket right now. This is tomorrow's brisket. We were going to season it with Rich's sweat. If you guys can't tell, he just got done with a bike ride.
Yeah.
So, Brian, help me out, buddy.
You guys are going to do that because
there's no trick to it. We just dump it. All right, we're just dumping it.
Jason will
look at this. Just looks like a Dan Bailey rump.
I just saw Dan actually.
Dan was
Me too.
with us.
You want to flip it
with us? And
you got to flip it?
Yeah. Oh my God, I think I put too much on that.
No, you can't put too much.
So Jason is our in-house when we do stream with Rich. He's from down there in Cookville, and we were like, man, you're real good at this. Do you think you could do it for like 1 million people?
And he's literally done it for 1 million people.
And this is not a joke. He's sleeping on an air mattress in the back of this place because he's got to monitor the temperature all night. So one more round of applause for our pit master, Jason Nichols.
He's like, hey, let me actually fix it for you.
Okay, so I think why don't we just talk about our day real quick? We did a fun day.
Yeah,
and then we can jump into the competition with Brian. Does that sound good?
Let's do it.
You're all sweaty because of the bike, but that's the second thing that happened. The first thing that happened is last night. Third thing that happened. What was the first thing? I don't even remember.
We worked out
we worked out, yeah.
We worked out, went and watched some stuff at North Park, went over, saw the team, do the bike stuff, and then where have we been? We went
do you know the Rich Froning hierarchy of working out? So it's like if he needs a partner, he'll look around the room. And if there's a games after, he says, hey, you're coming with me. But if he doesn't, you got to start being careful because he'll go down the line. And then if like the next best person in fitness isn't there, eventually it'll get to you. So today I had to be Rich's partner in a workout.
We had fun.
There must not have been a lot of people around.
Exactly. You look right over him.
No, I just knew if you can't nail Rory down at that moment, he'll give you, I'll be there later.
I got to do the
and
drum,
then I got
man.
this thing and
I got to do the drum.
These people and sponsors and whatever. So I was like you with me now.
I'll tell you this, Rory. When I was down in Mayhem, he never invited me.
You did everything we did.
Yeah, you never asked.
Yeah,
he was like, hey, Ty Jenkins.
Okay, all right.
I got to get the Ty Jenkins story. Ty Jenkins' crew is here, and somebody came up to introduce himself, and he said, just threw out Ty Jenkins. And I was like, what? I know Ty. And he's like, well, no, I'm not Ty, but I train at Ty's gym. So ever since his group keeps making me make fun of him, being like, we're calling him Ty Jenkins now. Is fake Ty Jenkins in the house?
Fake Ty Jenkins.
No, he's not. All right. Well, then last night we gave away the Centurion boat ride, which was awesome.
That was awesome. We, was there 6 of them that had never surfed before?
Yep.
All 6, we got them up on their feet. Dan got up.
And Dan Bailey came out of the boat.
Yeah, it was fun. Do you surf? I dabble every once in a while. Yeah. Centurion hooked us up with a boat. In high school, college, I wakeboarded a ton, but my joints can't handle that anymore. So surfing's the kind of more chill way to do that. Yeah,
it's the same. It's the same as Rich with CrossFit. He was giving the red dots. It's super easy, guys. No problem. Just push your feet in the ground. Whatever. It's like it's harder than it looks, right? And but they all did great.
They all did great. It was fun. We had a ton of fun. We were out there for about 2 hours?
2 hours on the boat. It's the coolest water event that I've ever seen in CrossFit Games.
Yep, for sure. Most fun water event I've ever had.
What about that team one with that yellow thing, 6 people? That wasn't fun.
Thing. I hate that sled. The rescue sled for the teams is the worst thing ever.
And then we capped it off. J-Mac was generous enough to keep open the course for the bike course for us.
Yeah, we ran the course for about 30 minutes and then came out and I did a lake loop. So I texted you. I made it right at about a minute late.
I came here like 7:25, and Rich texted me 2 minutes before that, and he's like, "Hey, I'm on the back end of a bike loop. Probably not going to make it on time."
I'll be right there. His dad making fun of him.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's what he said. He said you were going to give me a zinger on the podcast.
Do you not have a Mayhem VIP bracelet?
No, I just
get off the shit. Can somebody bring him a break? Somebody bring Brian Friend a bracelet, please.
We'll get him one. Don't take yours off, Pat.
Yeah, don't take yours off. Yeah, and so the bike ride was radical. Rich is tuning up for Leadville. You know about that, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. But recap the day. I mean, great Mayhem athlete events. Roman's doing great. Sam's doing great. Lazar had a couple good events. Team won an event. I didn't get to see that. That was the one I missed. Super happy with that.
You want
high level?
Yeah, let's zoom way out. And maybe highlight of the day for you. Do you only get one? What was the biggest thing? And I know, are they still competing? Age group and adaptive are still coming to a close.
I think they're all done.
Okay, they're all done. Sweet. So high level, you get one. I'll give you two.
One highlight of the day.
I mean, what was your brightest spot, or whatever stood out, and then you can go from there.
Man, that's tough. I think in terms of competition, probably slower horseback crushing the pig at the end was like the one thing that stood out most to me. But on a more high level stuff, I think it was one of the smoother day ones of competition that I've been a part of.
Yeah, I think it was great. I'm going to go 3 because it's my show. Watching Sam fight through at the end there, recover after the bike ride, Independence, winning that first event, starting out hot, and then watching Paige and Bailey come back after the bike. So high level, that's my 3 because I say so.
Yeah, and just because they're closing the day out, adaptive for me, I think is always like just amazing to watch. You know, the picture that you showed me, we didn't even watch live.
Yeah,
yes, we didn't even watch live competition, but especially when you have like an amputee or a single leg or a single arm athlete who has to take off their prosthetic to do certain movement, blows my mind, and love seeing them.
Yeah, this is the first year that I've looked at the CrossFit Games and been able to watch the non-elite divisions. Because since 2017 or 16, they've always been at the same time. And yet the first 2 days of competition was one of my favorite ones as a fan. Just being able to see the incredible things that young kids, older people in the community, and obviously the adaptive right can do.
Are you plugged into that community? Because I know there's like it's a whole obviously other team competition. People don't understand there's nuances, and then Rich will be like, he'll break it down. Hey, here's why this team event isn't good, and why. With adaptive, are the adaptive community happy with the programming? Happier? Has it come a long way? Where does it stand? It doesn't have to be good.
No, they have great appreciation for CrossFit for welcoming them in to the CrossFit Games for the past couple of years and made them a part of the cycle of CrossFit season. There are other competitions out there that are specifically tailored to that and have been going on for a long time. CrossFit hasn't taken that step. And there are still competitions out there that are more, well-renowned and inclusive of the entire adaptive community. I don't think it's a positive or a negative necessarily. That's just kind of how it is.
Yeah. And then like any top line thoughts, because we'll put the masters and the teams as well. I know that there was a 725 Helen in the teenagers, right? And then did he win the Helen for his age group? I believe that's true. David was still crushing.
The things that stood out to me, Giannis Papadopoulos, 670 Olympic total.
Right.
Youngest Zuliano, 500 pounds at 15 years old for his total. And then there were 3 35 to 39-year-olds and 1 16 to 17-year-old, and all 4 of them ran sub-18 5Ks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just at the highest level of so many very specific things, weightlifting and running, they're putting up some pretty damn impressive times.
Nice. Don't let this get in your head. This is going to the house, but that one's going to the internet.
Okay.
So we'll do our best for the folks here to listen. Okay, cool. You guys want to move on to? You want to talk team or individual next?
You tell me. You're the boss.
Let's go team first because I know your heart's there, and we had some big moves, right?
Yeah, like I said, Independence. I don't want to say that the bike is a toss-up event, but it's the Europeans do incredible. Anytime we're on bikes, I feel like they live on bikes over there. So they didn't finish where they wanted to. I think it was 17th. But like I said, having a big event win on the first event was pretty incredible. So I'm fired up for them. And fired up for them for the rest of the weekend. You know, Boz didn't tell me any of the events, but he said he's excited, I think, most about some of the team events coming up, which makes me.
He actually said the same to me all the way back in Omaha during the Open, that there was some team stuff coming at semifinals and the games that he was looking forward to. That event that they won this morning was actually the intended version of one that you did last year, only it was completely different.
Right, exactly. Yeah, because with the rain last year, it's cool to see, like we were talking last night, that event gets to be done, and then the alpaca the way it's supposed to be. I know you probably, more than anybody, I'm excited to see, you know, there was all the chirping about how it affected the overall leaderboard because, you know, so-and-so won, Roman won the event, Laura won the event, they wouldn't have done that. Well, Laura would have done great on the legless, but I just want to see, I want to be able to compare last year to this year and either tell people to shut up or you were right, you know, like.
Well, we'll do a comparison at some point, but we'll never know how it would have been with little time to compare. Because all the athletes, whether they're here or not, know what that standard was for the time they had a year to practice it. I think that we're going to have similar results.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that just so we can either, you know, like I said, dive into that more or put it to bed.
This looks like updated overall, right? Do you think this is updated?
Yeah, 152.
We talk about Independence, obviously. They start off so strong. They have a leader jersey.
Yep.
Angelo, the quote that I heard from his mouth was,
"Give me that effing leader jersey."
And then you'll have to tear it off my dead body. So somebody did.
Somebody did. It's gone. But they'll get it back, hopefully.
Mayhem Independence is in 7th. Are you surprised that East Nashville is not on top?
Yes and no. Like Rich alluded to, that bike event is a little bit of a wild card. And actually, there's several events that are pretty specific early on in the team competition. But what I noticed looking at the team leaderboard today was most of the teams had one good and one bad performance.
Yeah.
Whether some of them, and I would favor the ones that probably did well on the first event over the second.
Honestly, I'm a little surprised. Not surprised, but Invictus doing so well on the bike ride. You know, not doing as well as I thought they would have on the first event.
Yeah,
I would have flipped those too.
Yeah, and they were out to a big lead on that first one, and I think it was Josh that struggled on one of the legless rope climbs, and it kind of they still, you know,
it's kind of like it's that fourth round that kind of got everybody. So
yeah, and I think that on the flip side of that was that Independence didn't, you know, put too much pressure on the first half of that workout, and they just stayed steady throughout, and that was what ultimately led to.
It's almost like they paced
on the first one. So,
yeah, the one that they won.
Yeah, it was like that. You seem kind of shocked. That
I'm not necessarily shocked. I mean, an event win is huge, and then you know, knowing Angelo's one of the best, if not the best, legless rope climber around. And I knew he would do really well. You just never know what's going to happen in competition, and you know what the overhead squat's going to do or anything like that. So that was cool to see. Like I said, that they took that big of a win, and I didn't get to watch it. And Angelo texted me because we were in the process of walking over to North Park, and the girls were starting. I thought we would catch the teams right as they were finishing. And Angelo goes, "In case you didn't see it, we won." And I was like, "Oh yeah!" So, you know, it was pretty cool.
And actually, one of the funniest things that happened as we were walking in, we went by Taylor and Andrew. They were like, "So you miss it?" And Britt was giving a beat. He was like, "Nope, not at all."
Nope.
No, you and I talked the other day. It's it's a different experience for you. You're gonna be here and kind of do what you want every day.
You know, I get to be in this place without, having butterflies anytime you walk towards that stadium. So it's been fun. It's been nice. Different stress. You know, I still, with all of our athletes. Watching them and being completely out of control and having no control whatsoever about what's going on isn't as fun. I like to be out there.
Is it no butterflies or is it just like different nerves?
Different nerves. I don't get the butterflies, but it's different nerves. You know, it's just I don't have that just pit of your stomach dread walking towards that field. So it's kind of nice.
Let's before we say bye to the teams, let's talk tomorrow and maybe you talk about Independence and I want to hear who Brian thinks maybe will come on these. So we've got the Olympic total for the teams. One rep snatch and clean and jerk. The 5K is coming up, and then we've got the bike row hold.
Independence will do well on the total. Probably top 10 would be really good for them. Sam and Zoe are really good runners. Tigers come a long way. They'll do pretty well on that. And then, once you get some CrossFit stuff in there, they're going to be great when they get down to that last piece. I'm going to go ahead and tell you the Olympic total will probably go to proven. I can almost guarantee that one. The cross country, I'm going to go with Oslo will be up there, or one of the other European teams. And then, like I said, the last one's going to toss up that room.
Yeah, there's for the bottom half of the field, there's a lot on the line tomorrow. For the top half of the field, the scoreboard is super tight. I think it's like 30 points, top 10 or something like that. But I think after 2 days of competition, they only got 200 points today. So they have 500 points or whatever it is at the end of tomorrow. I think you'll see some of those teams that are expected to be towards the top pull ahead. And if I had to pick one to be in the lead after tomorrow, I think Invictus might hold on to it at least for one more day.
Invictus did really well on that lift. They're all pretty good runners from whatever we did last year.
Yeah, I mean, the weird thing about those two tests is that you can't escape a bad runner because you all got to run together. But you can lift on your own, and if you have a really good lifter, they can buoy the team a little bit.
And just to put you on the spot because sorry to take all the way in, but how does this match up with your predictions coming into the weekend?
For the teams?
Correct.
So I kind of thought there were 5 teams that had a chance to podium. 4 of those 5 teams are currently in the top 5 already, and Franco's Misfit is outside, but they just did pretty poorly. Like they're down like 12th or something like that. I think they'll move up throughout the course of the weekend. And then I had Mayhem Independence 6th, kind of just outside of that with a few other teams like Move Fast Lift Heavy. And they're also just kind of lurking around in that area I expected. So it actually looks pretty decent considering there's only been 2 tests.
Not bad.
Well done. So you know what you're doing.
Not bad. Okay, so just because everybody's here, does it feel like should we give away Pit Boss Griddle yet?
Yeah, let's go.
You guys want to give away the griddle? I mean, that's not very enthusiastic. You guys want to give away the griddle? Jeez. So here's the deal. Somebody here is guaranteed to get a griddle, and then somebody who may or may not be here will also get one. So, you want to do the onsite first? Or did we already select the random? Let's see. Let's say who won one, maybe at home or maybe not. And that is going to, is at the bottom here, Mary? Okay, cool. So Matthew Peterson. Is Matthew Peterson in the house? Okay, Matthew Peterson's not here, but somebody else is. So exclusively to the people here on site, we're giving away, again, this is a 4-burner Pit Boss. It's what we've been making breakfast on this entire time. And yeah, drum roll. What are we doing here? All right. You guys want Rich to pick or you want Ryan?
Is my name in there?
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, if your ticket's not in here, you better come put it in. Come on. This is. Oh, I see. I gotcha. Pick my number.
Oh.
Pick my number. For all the marbles. You? Oh, I'm doing it? Oh, sweet. That was one of the 2
This is your job. This is what we brought you for.
Oh, man. All right. Yeah, because I got long arms. All right. If you are number 328-904-2. Yeah, let's go. Get over here, dude. Get over here.
Nice.
So your griddle's over there. We don't have to do it right now. Just tell us your name.
Nice hat, nice jersey.
Yeah,
buddy. Where at?
Oh, nice. Cool. And having a good time in the game so far? Heck yeah.
RV park, loving it.
Been working out at all?
Every day.
There you
Yes.
go.
All right. So besides winning tonight, what's your highlight of the game so far?
We got a 4-month-old. Yeah.
On site?
Yeah.
Right on, man.
Yeah. So it's shot hit.
Poor soul.
It's awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
Sleeping?
Yeah. Actually,
that's lucky.
Nice.
You're lucky.
third weekend is 8 hours.
Bro, you don't brag about it, bro. Jeez.
All right, get out. Get him out of here. We got a griddle and a
All
sleeping
right, round of
baby.
applause. Now
That's
you're
good.
going
You should go down with the griddle.
All right. We're having fun. Cool. Let's move on to indies.
Sure.
We talked indies. Did we talk indies yet?
No, we talked
individuals.
indies.
Man, actually, I did get to watch some of it. We got to watch some of this. There were some surprises.
Surprises.
There were some wrecks. There was carnage.
Oh,
there was
dude.
the thrill of agony.
Man, I thought that bike event was just, it was fun to watch. I liked it. I liked it.
If you had totally watched that. Sorry.
We knew what you meant. I thought the bike event was cool to watch. My only knock on it was I wish there was some type of live scoring. I know it's impossible to do. It's just hard to see. Other than the front group, you want to see the front group. That's what matters. The real drama happened middle of the pack, though.
And it was like some of it was like mayhem on mayhem drama.
Yeah, it was.
I mean,
Luke had to get stitches.
Yeah, Luke went down
Like five stitches, I think, in his knee.
Yeah.
Like that.
I saw him after the fact, and he was smiling. I know they patched him up, cleaned him up, and whatever. And I said, "You all right, bro?" And he's like, "Ready to go. Bring it on."
Yeah, that's totally Luke. So super cool to see him just kind of bounce back like it was nothing. He was all bandaged up and hitting those wall balls. So,
So they went bike. They did obviously the pig flips, and then they did the handstand What do they call it? What was the official name?
Inverted medley.
Inverted medley. Thank you.
But that's not the gymnastics test, is it?
But we don't know. I'm actually not sure if when they released that, if they filled in the Venn diagram or not. So I don't really know.
Cool.
It was clearly a gymnastics test. I don't know if it was the one that they were specifically referencing. It feels like that should probably be on Saturday with the other two that they highlighted early. But
Okay, so a couple of other. We'll go men first, obviously. So we've already talked to Luke still
Top 20. Top
20. Well, let's talk. We'll finish with Roman because Roman's just absolutely.
Lazar's in there too. Lazar's still top, I think, right? Yeah, 18. So solid. Like I said, Sam did great. Oldest did really well today too, right? Or did? Let me see. Yeah, he ended up that. Get a good 15. Nope. Yep. Yeah, 15. Oldest did well. Yeah. So overall, I think a good day. Like I said, Sam bounced back. The bike wasn't exactly what he wanted. Crept up a little bit on the pig flip, but
I'll tell you this about Sam Cornway. If anyone wasn't watching the CrossFit Games 2 years ago when he was here, his two best workouts were on pig flip bar muscle up and handstand walk obstacle course. So I had a feeling this could be a decent day for him. I know that he did some bike riding last year with Rich, but I wasn't entirely sure about that. But not that surprised to see him do too well on those two events. Obviously, being in 5th place after the first day is pretty good, though.
We'll allow you to have one non-Mayhem athlete you can highlight and say that you're. I'm just kidding. You can do as many as you can do as many as you want.
Well, I mean, just quite frankly, if you look at the top 5, I'd say that outside of Roman, probably weren't expecting those names up there. And
Spencer, Jay Crouch, really high up there.
Spencer Panchik was the guy I thought would have a great day today. I actually spoke to his coach, Nick Fowler, this morning. He told me Spencer would be in the leaders jersey after day 1. I thought he'd be in the top 10. He's sure enough there in 3rd. I wasn't expecting this from Jay or Moritz on day 1. So I would say for those two guys, this is pretty cool. And we're actually doing a study tonight. I'm having some Barclaydale do a little study on top 5 finishes or placements after day 1 and kind of how that pans out for athletes historically in the games. So what we can maybe expect from these guys going forward, because this is Jay's 3rd year, this is Moritz's 2nd year, and I'm not sure. I think they're going to do better than they've done before. I'm just not sure how much better. But
where do we find those results when you're done with them?
On the website, we'll put them on the website and on Instagram. Be Friendly Fitness for both.
BeFriendlyFitness.com.
Bellner rebounds really well today. Where's the Canadians? Where are you at? You guys over there? They're there. Knew it was coming. Yeah, so I mean, took himself out pretty early. Usually he's a little bit later, so did well.
It's not the worst first event ever.
It's true.
That's so true.
Big surprise on the base, Medeiros. Where did he end up after?
Well, if you're like to study the leaderboards, I would draw your eyes to Cole Grieshaber. He's in 21st, I believe, and Justin Medeiros, who's one spot behind him, or one or the other. Both of them had pretty poor first 2 events. And then took 1st and 2nd on the 3rd event and surged up the leaderboard, like 14 and 12 spots or something like that. If you have an athlete that you're a fan of who's in the bottom 20, just realize that a performance like that early tomorrow can still make a huge impact on the leaderboard because the points down there are pretty tight.
Having said that, it was very not looking Medeiros. Like we were at North Park on the side, something that we're not seeing, something that we don't know. Did you get a chance to talk to him?
I haven't spoken to him. I did try to speak to some people who know him well. The bike ride's a little bit of a wild card. You can get in a crash, you can hit a turn, you can have a chain fall off or something like that. Clearly, he was marked up from a fall that he had when he had to shirt off in the Coliseum.
It was too early.
Yeah. And then, the handstand was something I was expecting him to do well at, and obviously he did. For me, the thing that stood out today was the pig chipper.
Yeah.
And I was actually wondering if he maybe, cracked the rib or had some straining his obliques because it looked like he was having a hard time breathing. Like he was bent over in a way that I usually don't see him. But I think tomorrow with Alpaca and ski bag right out the gate, we'll know pretty soon whether he's okay or not.
Are there any other, historically, are there male champions who have bounced back from tour event early on that you know of?
Or
I work very closely with Chad Schroeder in the broadcast.
Yes.
We provide all the stats for those guys, and Chad is incredible. And he sent out this text message to the group today. Defending champions who've had poor placements and then rebounded throughout the weekend, how they did. And every other sentence had the name Rich Froning in it.
That's about right.
That was what you're seeing here.
There it is. Nice. Well done.
I'll hang on that for 1 second because I think it's very well also. And just so you guys know, behind the scenes, sound smart on broadcast. It's really because these guys are working so hard behind the scenes, just digging up crazy stats that you wouldn't even know of, like the study you guys are talking about doing this evening. How about non-leaderboard stuff? Sitting here on the side of North Park, we got to be next to that event. Did anything stand out that fans might not have seen? I mean, one, besides the fact it was blazing hot.
It was blazing hot. It was packed. which was really cool to see. A lot of people here on a
Over
Thursday.
9,000 people.
That was incredible. It was cool to see how many people showed up so awesome on the community side of it. The turnaround. I was surprised at how quickly we went from on a bike to North Park. Like I said, literally we finished watching the guys on the bike, started making our way over to North Park, thinking we were going to see the team event, and the women had already started. It was quick and it was hot.
Yeah, and kind of an interesting nuance because the first event was a mass start. The second event had 2 heats, so the first heat even had 20 minutes less time to recover. That might not sound like a lot in a traditional format, but it was massive today. Some of the women, especially that I spoke with the coaches for them, said that they didn't even feel like their heart rate had come down, and the legs are obviously going up, and that thing's heavy, so it's pretty high demand. But that's what you get at the CrossFit Games, and that's the stuff that I often talk about. Is, these athletes are all fit, and they can all do stuff well on the floor. Part of success here is what you do between workouts, because sometimes you have an hour, sometimes you have a minute, sometimes you have all night. So you just got to be good at recovering in many different time domains as well.
I will say we rode that course for about 30 minutes. It was hard. There's just no point where you're not pedaling. You're working the entire time. So,
Except for us that got off and ran.
yeah,
There's no point you won't.
I'm not training for a run race, so I just hopped over and just riding.
I jumped off with J-Mac and I saw Rich keep him. He called a shot. He was like, look, I'm here. I'm getting miles in. I got a race next week. But I was so angry. I was like, man.
I was like, oh, I'm not here to run. I was here to ride. So we rode that for 30 minutes. I will say, if you could have found and gotten in a pack and drafted, you could have saved a ton of energy. So that front pack, if they worked really hard and won the event. But if they were smart, drafting was huge on that trail.
Yeah, and it was totally different men and women. I know we haven't talked about the women yet, but what happened in the men's race is what I expected. There'd be a lead pack that would emerge, and they'd all kind of just trade off pulling the pack and then race for it at the end, which I think was what everyone thought.
Smashed everyone.
She did, but I think she paid for it. She's young and she recovered and obviously is doing quite well anyway. But after the workout, we interviewed her there for the broadcast. She won, and her legs were pretty beat up. But that's what happens if you're the person that's pulling the pace for the entire back half of the workout, which is what she did.
Yeah, she smashed it. And being by yourself is not fun.
Yeah. You guys know I don't want to make this about me, but just while we're on the bike, if you guys give a round of applause. My training partners from my 5 a.m. crew are here. Goldie and South are here, and then keep it going for me because I just crushed them on the bike. It was awesome. Shout out to our boy Mills who can't be here. And Dan came out. He looked like he was shot the first round. He came back and he rebounded, still beat the boys.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Okay, guys, it come from
Stevie
behind.
says he was drafting.
Playing the game smart. Okay, tomorrow these guys are going to face Alpaca like it was meant to be done last year.
3 ducks.
The ski bag and Helena.
Is that supposed to be in French?
It's a twist on
Yeah.
Okay.
Redo? Isn't it supposed to be?
UX? Redux?
I don't know.
Redo?
Anyway.
Yeah, it's French for redo, maybe. I don't know. I'd love to hear programming first and let's talk about the athletes. So, how do you like the programming?
I think it's cool. Like I said, reduxing the workout from last year the way it was intended. Ski sandbag is going to be very painful. There's
Helena too.
Really no way to put that. Yeah, I am glad it's not straight Helen. I've made it known several times that I think kettlebell swings in competition are garbage and very poor standards for those. So I'm glad that they're doing dumbbell snatches.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say.
No, I'm glad it's not just straight Helen, especially for the like. Honestly, I don't even think the age groups. I think this would have been a better version.
Are you
In my opinion.
Are you glad that it's dumbbell snatches? Because there was a bunch of guesses on what it was going to be.
Yes, I think the dumbbell snatch is good. The intended stimulus is sprint for this 7-8 minute, and I think you've got that in this workout, and without the kind of weird gray area of kettlebell swing, in my opinion.
Yeah, important to consider when you're evaluating the program is that the first round of class is coming tomorrow night. So when you look at Thursday, Friday combined, you want to see a test that hits on a variety of different facets. We've gone long, we've had high skill. We don't get weightlifting tested in isolation, but between the pig, the sandbag, and the kettlebells, there's few odd objects in there. And what I like about tomorrow is that in all 3 workouts are painful, and especially in 5 and 6, you're going to hit the points.
Yeah. Very fast. So you're saying that you do think that so far before cuts will be a good rounded test in your opinion?
I'm not a huge fan of cuts in general. If you're going to have cuts, I think that you need to be thoughtful about the programming between every round of cuts. So I feel like you should be able to pull Thursday and Friday out and say this stance alone is a good test. You should also be able to pull Saturday out and say this stance is a good test. We don't know all of Saturday yet, so it's hard to evaluate. And obviously, the totality of the entire CrossFit game should also be a good test. Adrian talked about that a little bit at some point in the build-up to the games of kind of like being aware of that in light of the cuts. So I think through the first 2 days, it's balanced enough to warrant justifying a cut.
I mean, if you isolate, say using that kind of as your scale, if you isolated that as semifinals, I'd say that's a good test for semifinals. You'd have the fittest for the most part in that order. And then, I mean, looking at Saturday so far, you got the 5K and you got the total. So, I mean, you're going to have a pretty good amount of tests. I like it so far. I like it better than last year already. Looking forward to tomorrow for sure.
Okay, let's go then to the leaderboard. So, I'm sorry, we never talked about the women yet. So, should we talk leaderboard for tomorrow? Let's go over the women real quick.
Yep,
you're the boss. You just tell me.
Yeah, I'm going to say we're going to women.
We're going to the women.
And so, highlight, I mean, for me again, most selfishly, Bailey finished super strong.
Yep. Paige and Bailey. Paige did a little rebound there at the end too. So super happy about them.
What place are they sitting in?
Paige is in 8th. I think Bailey is in 14th. So yeah, pretty good. Both of them had not the best bike, the happiest. They weren't as happy with the bike as they would have liked to have been. Or Paige, it was almost like flip flops. Paige did pretty good on the bike, and then kind of I think got a little hot and didn't recover very well between the pig flip. You normally would have smashed the pig chipper if her coach Darren was any better. Darren's fine. But so, having them end the day, she ended the day with the third on the, what are they calling that? The inverted medley. So really happy about those two. Stand out for you.
I think the women's leaderboard kind of mirrors the men's to a certain degree. Alexis Raptis is your overall leader, and although maybe she wasn't as highly, evaluated as Roman coming in, they both had all top 5 finishes today. They're both wearing the leader jersey for the first time, and actually 2 times in a row this year. So it's super well done for her. But behind her in the top 5 is a few names that we probably wouldn't have expected to see up there, similarly to the men's. And then to go one step further, you see Laura Horvath just lurking in 7, kind of like Velma and Fikowski are. And for anyone who's up there that we might not expect it to be, it's always a little nervous when you have the favorites coming in just right outside.
Like sharks. Yeah, for sure. I think, we were wondering what we would see from Laura on the overhead stuff or the inverted stuff.
Well, was it 27th? Is that what she was? Yeah. So that's,
better than
not knowing the entire test. We could go upside down again in theory. But if that is the inverted test for the week, that's better than she usually does on it, which is probably pretty good. Looking at the first 2 workouts tomorrow, feels like top 3 finishes most likely in both of those, just the power that she has.
And then you don't know with Helen. Helen's a little bit of a toss-up, but
she actually did not do very well. The 2 workouts she struggled with in semifinals were the run. So I would expect her to surge up on 5 and 6 or 4 and 5, go backwards a little bit on 6 and 7, and then we'll see.
I feel like maybe though it's not on a runner. It's only 400, so you may be able to sprint that a little bit more, but we'll see. I think it's good. 8th Tour starter and 5th, pretty incredible.
Well, the really cool thing.
I'm an 8th Tour star fan. Big 8th Tour star.
Absolutely, and there are 4 women in the top 10 who weren't at the CrossFit Games last year, and obviously the story coming into this year is that there were 5 women who were in the top 10 that aren't here this year, but they've basically been replaced. You put Annie Thor's daughter, Katrin Davis' daughter, Bethany Flores. It's really incredible what she's doing considering how much she's been limited in her training for the past year or 2. And Jamie Simmons, all back in the top 10 immediately after day 1, veterans of obviously the CrossFit Games. So even with the women that are missing, it didn't seem to get that much easier at the time.
Ariel Owen, good second year. So,
oh my goodness. Yeah, Ariel, amazing day. Obviously, we expected on the handstand walk, but what she did on the back half of the big chipper, I think relative to her size, was probably on par with what Spencer did in terms of the most impressive work on the pig today.
Yep.
Love it. All right, so if we're going to kiss them off and talk about tomorrow, for these guys, they're facing, you kind of dug in a little bit, but any big standouts? So you mentioned Laura Horvath's going to have a big day. Anybody else who really needs to make a move, in your opinion, that could?
Yeah, I mean, on both the men's and women's sides, there's a few athletes that I think people had like fringe podium hopes for. Sam Quant's down in 35th, Jason Hopper's in 30th, Amanda Barnhart's down there quite a ways. So I would be looking for, big names like that to come out swinging tomorrow. All of those are somewhat bigger athletes. With all the athletes having enough proficiency to get through test 6 and semis, I think the kettlebells are still going to carry alpaca tomorrow, so they'll probably all do well. And I think the sandbag will probably be the limiter in the next one. So I would expect all 3 of those to move up over the course of tomorrow.
Cool. Yeah, I think it's going to be a fun day. Like I said, I'm excited about these next 3 tests. Obviously, I've said it multiple times, but seeing what alpaca was supposed to be, I don't mind this version of Helen. It's better than, I think, the just traditional Helen for these guys, especially. And then that middle one, it's just gonna,
It's painful.
there's nothing, there's no place to hide that.
Let me get some business done, and then we can just wrap and we can take some questions from the audience. So, of course, we got to give more stuff away. Oh, you mentioned the gym. What we haven't mentioned is that Rogue hooked that up. We got to chill with Bill and Katie today. So, Big shout out to Rogue. They've done amazing. You guys can clap. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Rogue's awesome.
In respect for that, or in observation, we're going to give away $200 Rogue gift cards.
2 $100 gift cards.
Thank you. Yeah, 2 another comment in there. Beth Sebi and Romas Kirkalas are going to take those home. If you're here, come get it right now. And if you're not, sucks for you. No, so you still get it. You still get it. Hey, Mary, do we have the Ride with Rich winners? No, we don't.
No, we
okay,
don't.
so still to be selected tomorrow morning.
Ride with Rich.
I had the honor today.
Lucky. You're so lucky.
We should really call it Start and Finish with Rich. Because you're going to start with Rich, and then you're going to see the finish line most likely. We also have that Go Ruck. Have you heard of our Go Ruck thing?
I have not.
Okay, so we collaborated. Rich collaborated with Go Ruck on the Allegiance flag pack. So Allegiance is a flag company, and all the scraps that they have in their warehouse, they put together this amazing Go Ruck.
Inside of a GR1 is an American flag.
Oh, damn.
Are there any left? Okay, there's a handful left, and so the first 50 who bought them on site, first 50 people, tomorrow morning at 11 are going to go and work out with Rich, and then we'll come in here and we'll just do like a signing of those too. So that'll be really fun as well. Big day tomorrow. Let's give away all this stuff, and then we can get out of business mode. Kevin Ackdahl Jr., Renee Campbell, Frank Rolke, they're all going to get Airwave Mayhem Athlete hybrid packs. Austin Wenshank is getting a $25 Buffalo Brew card. Doug Hale is getting $100 at Froning Farms. Chad Dunlap, if it's you, just go crazy, but it doesn't sound like it is. Chad Dunlap's getting a $100 Mayhem Nation gift card, and Ali Kasamali is getting 1 full year of RP strength. So congrats. And we'll do the specialized winners tomorrow. We'll count those. Thanks. Yep. We rock the Mayhem versus nobody.
Mayhem versus nobody.
Mayhem versus everybody. We rock these today. Tomorrow we're wearing our white Mayhem athlete jersey shirts. If you need one, you can go to the 8. And now I think you usually dig into comments, but you want to try.
Ben, do we have any? You want any comments? You got any good ones? Zingers over there? No. Yes. Yeah. If you, it's up to you.
I'll dig into
be done.
YouTube.
If we want to be done. Zingers over there.
I could do that.
We're gonna.
Is anybody in house want to talk to Rich? Got questions for Brian? Burning questions.
I'm gonna lose in fantasy in 2 leagues this year. That's for sure. Yes, fantasy football for sure. If that's what we're talking about? Yeah. Oh no, I don't do that. I don't. Do you do fantasy?
Yeah. My buddy Tyler Watkins, Keep One app, and I'm in there. If you didn't sign up ahead of time, you missed out on a chance. But if you beat me in both the games, you're in the drawing to win a prize.
Oh, okay.
I have a question actually. I was saying this to Rich today while we were on the water. I'm like, I'm mind blown that nothing's incorporated with water so far. Do you think that there's anything left? I know that the Sunday schedule looks like it's still like TBA for the most part. Mm-hmm. Would they drop something? Swimming, water, anything?
I mean, historically in the CrossFit Games, there's always a surprise or two. It doesn't look like there's anything right now, but like you said, Sunday is just TBA on the schedule. They did put out like that North Park Coliseum, but we've had several North Park events that have been in and out of North Park, so we'll have to wait and see what Sunday is. It doesn't really look like it for Saturday at least. So.
But doesn't it look kind of skinny? Like, am I still on?
Yeah, and then I think that it appears like there's 12 scored events or something like that, but again, that feels a little low. So I'm expecting something unusual or additional to come up. Yeah.
Thank you guys for being here.
Yeah.
Everybody having a good time so far? Breakfast starts at 8.
Breakfast starts at 8.
Brisket's back.
We're gonna have more brisket.
We're doubling down. Yeah, you come back and join us again. We gave away everything we have to give away today, but we're going to continue doing that tomorrow. And then I think we're escalating all the way up to giving away road competition plays. We give away more pit boss stuff. We got tons of Yeti stuff. So thanks to all those guys for their support as well.
It's been good. Hey, you coming back tomorrow? You got time tomorrow?
Am I invited?
I'm making that executive decision. We need Brian there.
I'm leaving.
Oh, you are leaving.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're coming back tomorrow. So, yeah, everybody wants Brian here. We need the hand and leg. So me and Darren looking like idiots with Brian. So
Yeah, I'll be out of here. My son has a football game. My daughter cheerleads at that football game. So I'll be gone for 24 hours, 12 hours, and then I'll be back. So we'll be back on Sunday. And love you guys. This is it, right?
for you.
Yeah.
Yep. Got one more. Yeah. That's it. That's it.
Yeah. Thank you guys for being here.
Thanks for coming. Yeah.
Great show. And we'll see you in the morning.
Right.
Yep.
Good.